G'day, everybody. Welcome to our 50-yard line. Welcome to another week of wrap-up for college football. It was Cupcake Week. I can feel the diabetics out there already suffering from too much cake on the weekend for sure. So we have our roving reporter, Chris. Thank you very much. I know you are stuck in traffic at the moment. So you really are roving today. So thank you very much for being here live with us too. So...
well, listen. I'm no longer stuck in traffic. The traffic jam is finally broken.
Good stuff.
I am now back to doing highway speed.
Good.
My plan tonight was to be on using my new tablet with a nice camera and bringing you inside the mobile studio. 6 hours in the dock last night getting loaded.
Yep.
And consequently, a late start this morning, and then traffic conspired to work against me because I was going to park to be able to do this, but traffic conspired against me in a couple of places. So I got to keep rolling. But you know what? I can multitask, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We need to do what we need to do. But we're going to jump. We're a little bit different today because we're going to jump straight into the rankings. We're actually, it is actually kicking off as we speak. So we're going to jump over to college football playoff top 25 here in just a moment. Actually, I think the basketball is still going on. So we've got a couple more minutes to chat here. We got that basketball going on in at the moment. So we'll get back to that. We'll check into that in just a moment. So do we want to run through our rankings before we get into their rankings?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. We didn't get to go through the rankings last week because of internet issues. So we didn't. We tried to start a show and it didn't really go off.
We never
didn't even mention our rankings.
No. We did not. There's been a bit of change. There's been a bit of movement around in the rankings, so to speak. So some teams have dropped a little further down. Some teams have gone up a little bit too. So it's going to be interesting to see where this is all sitting. So do you want me to go through my rankings first?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So the first four that I've got out is Vanderbilt, Miami, Utah, and Michigan is what I've got four out. Now, this last number 12, flip-flop here, there, and everywhere all season. I've got, for the longest time, I think the last 3 or 4 I've actually put Navy. I've actually got North Texas this time. I don't know. I've got North Texas as number 12. Number 11, I've got BYU hanging in there. Number 10, I've got Alabama at number 10. Bad loss slips them down. There's been a few stronger teams in front of them. Number 9, I've got Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. Number 8, I've got Oklahoma. 7, I've got Ole Miss. 6, I've got Texas Tech. Oregon coming in at number 5. They've moved up a little bit in the rankings. Definitely won't be in the championship game this year, but we're pretty happy about that. We don't get a massive bye week, so we're okay. Georgia, Texas A&M, Indiana, and Ohio rounding off the top 4 there. So a little bit of changing here and there, but nothing major. I think Alabama's probably the biggest mover. And then obviously Oregon just slipping up a couple of spots there. So after beating the two ranked teams in the last 2 weeks. So
Yep. Now I've got a question. I didn't hear an ACC team in your bracket. So you've got North Texas as your group of 5 representative.
Yes. Well, I do have Miami and
who-
Vanderbilt as the first out, so
You got Miami. You got Miami in your
is
first four
so
out.
that would be the
Miami would be your 11th seed. Okay.
yes.
So they would be in the bracket, and then whoever your 11 seed is really honestly one of the first teams out. Is the first team out
Yes.
of your playoff bracket.
Yeah.
Because the way it's looking right now, the top 10 are going to wind up in the field.
Yep.
And then we're going to have two conference champions take 11 and 12.
11 and 12, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, having Miami as your first in your bracket as the ACC representative, right now Miami's on the outside looking in to the bracket.
Kind of like last year, really. Kind of like last year.
Yeah. Right now, Miami is not in a position to even play in the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
Sitting with 2 losses. So when I put my bracket together, I took that into consideration. Can they right now play in the ACC championship game? So Miami is well on the outside looking in for me right now.
Yeah.
I've actually got James Madison as my group of 5 representative.
Okay.
Right now. And I'll tell you what, I came very close to not dumping or not putting an ACC team in right now into my bracket because there is a definite possibility. There's a distinct possibility we're not going to have an ACC champion get ranked.
Yes.
And we wind up with 2, because we could wind up with a 3-loss ACC champion. And I think there would be 2 group of 5 representatives in a scenario like that. Like, let's say it's like SMU or any of the 3-loss teams in the ACC that could still get into the conference title game. They wind up winning. Well, they're the champion of the conference, but they're not ranked.
No, that's right.
So
that's right.
I could definitely see a scenario where we get 2 group of 5 teams in. So, we could wind up James Madison and North Texas or another American representative in the field, and then the top 10. So, but, for right now, I've got Pitt inside the brackets at the 11 seed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
After their win at Georgia Tech, a very impressive win at Georgia Tech on Saturday. I've actually got them in as my 11, in front of James Madison as the 12. My number 10, I've got Notre Dame.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got Alabama at 9, Oklahoma at 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Oklahoma obviously over Alabama with the head-to-head, and a win in Tuscaloosa at that.
Yes, exactly.
That's an even added bonus to the tiebreaker they've got.
That's exactly right.
So I put Oklahoma at 8, Alabama 9.
Yeah.
I've got Alabama ahead of Notre Dame because I like Alabama's resume better than I like Notre Dame's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see
Notre Dame's got 2 close losses against ranked teams. They don't have the strength of victories that Alabama has.
Yeah.
Because Alabama went on that 4-week run of beating 4 ranked teams.
That's right.
Earlier this year. So I like Bama's resume more. That's why I've got them ahead of Notre Dame. Consequently, why do I have Notre Dame ahead of Miami? That's been a controversy the last couple of weeks. And so far ahead of Miami at that. Everybody say, well, Miami beat Notre Dame. Why doesn't that head-to-head tiebreaker work out? Again, Notre Dame has lost 2 games by a combined 4 points to ranked teams, including the number 3 team in the country by 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay. Miami has lost to 2 unranked teams.
Yeah. That really is going to bring down your strength. Yep.
Miami, you have worse losses, and your resume sucks. Okay? Your resume is not as good as Notre Dame's, and quite honestly, Notre Dame's is a little thin.
Yes.
With the exception of the USC game. The USC game, that's a nice win.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame. That definitely helps their resume, but Miami's resume sucks. All right? They did not play a game outside the state of Florida until the month of November.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And oh, by the way, they lost that trip to Dallas.
Yes. Yeah, they've
when they played SMU.
Very hit and miss this year for sure. Very hit and miss.
Yeah, well, listen, it's Miami, and in November, Miami's got the reputation of when the calendar turns to November, it's like midnight for Cinderella.
Yeah.
The dream is over. The party's over. Warm up the bus.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that's my 8, 9, 10. Number 7, Ole Miss.
Okay. Yep.
I've got Oregon sitting at number 6.
Oh.
Okay. I've got Texas Tech at 5. And then
so
Georgia at number 4.
Yep.
Tech's resume is a little bit weaker than Georgia's. Georgia playing an SEC schedule.
Yep.
That is a distinctly tougher schedule that they play. So I've got Georgia as the best of the one-loss teams.
Yeah.
And then number 3, we didn't discuss this. Remember my 1, 2, 3. 2 weeks ago, I had A&M at number 1. I had Indiana at 2
right.
and Ohio State at number 3.
Yeah.
Well, remember what happened a couple weeks ago? Remember what happened after I made that change?
Yes.
A&M had their escape.
Yes. Very, very close.
I dropped A&M back down to number 3.
Okay.
Because that is it. That escape, I can't unsee that.
Versus South Carolina, that's right.
Yeah, they absolutely should have lost that game on their home field. They were down 30-3 at halftime.
Yep.
They were dead and buried with the coroner, having already filled out the toe tag. They were in the casket. They were in the ground. They were dead.
I think that result
and they got out.
Explains the difference between watching college football and watching sport in Australia, where we would say, my God, that was amazing. See that comeback? Great team. Whereas college football, you go, oh my God, did you see them almost lose? What a crappy team. It's like, it's so different. It is such a different concept and such a different way to look at the game. Yep. Yep.
And when you have margins this thin, and the top 3 to me, the margins are so thin between the top 3, you have to dive that far into the weeds. You have to look at the fact that A&M trailed 30-3 at halftime at Kyle Field in College Station to South Carolina. All right?
Yes.
A game like that, I would have almost expected that at if that game was played in Columbia.
Oh, yeah.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Completely different situation.
South Carolina rises up for big games on their home field. I didn't expect them to take that on the road with them. But to A&M's credit, they pulled off the greatest comeback in school history.
Yeah.
They got it back. They wind up winning the game by a point. And they survive. But when the margins are this thin, got to take how the game played out into consideration. And compared to what Ohio State and Indiana did that week, A&M had to suffer a little bit. So I dropped them back to 3. Ohio State at 2, Indiana at number 1. And that's the way it was last week. That's the way it is this week for me, because nothing really changed. I mean, Indiana had the day off. And Ohio State beat a cupcake called Rutgers.
Yes.
And A&M beat the hell out of Stanford, I think. I'm going by memory here, but
okay.
A&M had a cupcake game on this past Saturday. So, and they dominated, same as Ohio State did against Rutgers.
Yeah.
So nothing really changes there
Yeah,
with the top
48-0
three. So
against Samford.
Indiana's still my number one. They have been for the last half of the season.
Yeah.
I think ever since the Oregon game, I've had them at number one in my rankings ahead of Ohio State because I've been more impressed with Indiana's resume, their victories, their ranked opponents that they've beaten. Ohio State, I've called them this many times, ruthlessly efficient this year. They have a dominating, smothering defense, but they honestly haven't played a really strong schedule.
No.
I mean, the Texas game might be their best win on the resume.
Yes. And I guess you could also argue that
pretty weak.
That Texas at the start of the season is completely different to the Texas now at the end of the season, so that win is not as strong as it was in the first or second week. So
right now the Texas win on Ohio State's resume looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Because Texas is ranked. They're going to be ranked again this week.
Oh yeah.
They've got one hell of a game coming up on Friday night. Oh my goodness. And we will be watching that Friday night.
Yep.
On YouTube, when they welcome their old frenemies to DKR.
That's
in fact, I will be driving. In fact, during this podcast, I will be literally driving past DKR.
Okay.
Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin.
Nice.
Because I'm in Texas heading southbound right now. So I will literally be driving past the stadium here in a little while.
Nice.
But they welcome their old friends, number 3 Texas A&M, for the Lone Star Showdown on Friday night, and we will be watching that with great interest Friday night as part of our watch party.
Yeah, we got quite a few games, but we'll get into that in just a little minute as well too. So I've just checked. They're still playing college basketball at the moment, so we've still got a bit of time at the moment. So let me just check.
Who the hell is playing?
It is Seton Hall versus USC.
Okay.
Wait, they're only in the second period? Oh, wait, is that the last one? How many periods are in basketball?
There's 2 halves.
Okay, they've got 4 minutes, about 5 minutes left. Of the
oh God,
depends.
This could take forever.
I was just going to say that.
Is it a close game?
Dang, I forgot to check.
Oh.
66 to 72. Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's a 6-point game. Yeah. Man, the last 4 or 5 minutes of a college basketball game can take forever.
Says us who watch college football that takes 45 minutes to play 2 seconds. So,
college basketball is almost as bad, especially in a close game when teams still have timeouts. It's same with every sport where you've got timeouts.
Football is weird. Sometimes a quarter can feel like it's 2 minutes, or the last 2 minutes can feel like it's a whole quarter. It's so weird. So weird how it happens. But sometimes you just get dragged into it and not realize.
Like the last 2 minutes of the first half of the Auburn-Georgia game. That thing took forever.
Exactly.
We could have ordered a pizza, had it delivered, and half eaten.
That's right.
In the amount of time it took to play the last 2 minutes of that half.
Well,
sorry for reminding you about that game, Josh.
Yeah. There was quite a few things going on in that one, that's for sure. So we might as well,
oh my God.
We might as well go through the weekend then. Some of these cupcake, obviously 11 out of the 14 won their cupcake week. 3 had some buys. I don't think there was any big surprises. Some big scores, obviously, playing against unranked and lower tier opponents. So, but no big surprises there. But in one of them, Georgia Tech versus Pitt. And Pat, is it Narduzzi? That's the coach, isn't it? Who is a 3D chess wizard in the glorious masterpiece that is the ACC. Man, that conference is in some real trouble. I tell you what, some real trouble at the moment.
I call that a glorious masterpiece because it is an absolute mess, and I am completely here for it.
Yes.
Bear with me; I'm trying to fight through some signal issues here in Central Texas, so I'm kind of hit and miss on you. But I did catch that last part.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I call him a 3D chess master.
Yeah.
Here's what he did. Remember the schedule. These last 3 games on Pittsburgh's schedule. They played home to Notre Dame, then at Georgia Tech, and they're home to Miami this week. I think they're home to Miami this week. I know they're playing Miami. So 3 games, and they're still in a position where they can make it into the playoff. All right?
Yeah.
Their pathway is to win the ACC championship. All right?
Yes.
Pat Narduzzi basically came out before the Notre Dame game and said that game's meaningless. It means absolutely nothing. We could lose that game 100-0. And in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing.
Yeah.
Because, the games we got to focus on are Georgia Tech and Miami. All right? And watching that game against Notre Dame about 10 days ago, they looked like a team that did not expend 1 ounce of energy they didn't have to play that game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame came in and blew the doors off of Pittsburgh. Wound up winning very comfortably.
Yes.
But then, what does Pittsburgh come out and do Saturday? They go down to Atlanta and basically slap Georgia Tech in the mouth.
Yep.
Punch him in the stomach and knee him in the groin in the first half.
Oh, yes.
They were up.
Yep.
They were up, 20, what was it, 28-0?
28-0, yep.
Very, relatively early in that game. Wound up, Georgia Tech, they fought back. They were fighting. They were in a position to get it down to a 1-score game, and what was it? A pick 6. As Georgia Tech's going in, they throw a pick 6.
Yeah.
And it just completely flipped the game on its head. Goes from, maybe being 28-21 and Georgia Tech's in the game to 35-14 in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pittsburgh winds up going to Atlanta. They pull the upset, and now they're in a position where they can get into the ACC championship game. They beat Miami. If they beat Miami Saturday.
Yes. Yep. Yep. It's going to be...
Narduzzi, he knew the score. He knew the game. He knew what he had to do.
Yep. Yep.
We're not worrying about Notre Dame. We're focusing on Tech and Miami. And, winds up looking like a brilliant move. Yeah, the Notre Dame win would have been great for their resume. But if that came at the expense of getting into the ACC title game, I think they would have wound up in a worse off position. And ultimately missed the playoff that way, had it gone that way.
Yep. Yep. So now Pitt is sitting...
So it totally makes sense.
6-1, along with Virginia and SMU at the top of the ACC table there. So, and just obviously just behind them is Georgia Tech and Miami as well too. So it's an interesting conference. What's going to happen if they're actually going to get anybody in the actual bracket? So.
Yeah, that's the concern because you've got Duke in there as well.
Yep.
In that mix, there are 6 teams that can still qualify for the ACC championship game.
Yep.
All right, and we've got a possibility of a 6-way tie for those 2 spots, which how you begin to sort that out. I don't know what the tiebreaker procedures are for a 6-team tiebreak.
Does that come down to head and whatever else and for and against, and it's just like, dang. Okay.
Yeah. Common opponents and conference schedule, strength of conference schedule.
Yep.
It may come down to playing cards. They may have to play poker or something.
Yes. Because Pittsburgh's
to
got
settle this.
the most points for at the moment, 269. Then if you're counting points against, it's SMU with 104. It's like there's so much to. If it comes down to a 6-way tie, it's just going to be. I would not like to be in that that committee. Yikes!
Yeah, the computer that would have to they would have to use to determine it. You may wind up at the blue screen of death.
Yeah, that's right.
The computer that determines it.
Put all the names in a hat and we'll draw them out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll draw lots. Some leagues have that as a tiebreaker, as their 7th or 8th tiebreaker.
Yeah,
just draw lots. In fact, I know FIFA does for the World Cup. That's down their list of tiebreak procedures for the group stage of the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
So, maybe that's in there. Who knows?
Who knows? But, that's right.
But again, like I said, the fact that we can get a 6-way tie for the regular season conference title in the ACC is why I call it a glorious masterpiece. It is a beautiful thing to behold. When you're not a fan of any of the teams involved, you get to be outside of it, just enjoying the chaos.
That's right. That's right. So interesting. As you said, interesting technique there. The coach had to kind of sacrifice that Notre Dame game and then look further in the future. So,
yep.
But it's going to be interesting.
It was. Yeah, it was definitely. It winds up definitely being the right move.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yes. I mean, when it comes down to this end of the season, you really have to start thinking about those conferences. So if that's the only way you're going to get into the playoffs to win that conference championship, you really have to concentrate on that. So.
Yep, I mean that's if that's your pathway to the playoff. And speaking of Notre Dame,
yeah,
what about what they did Saturday
to Syracuse?
To poor Syracuse. Oh wow! We were watching the score. Watching that game on. We were following the score on that game. I was watching it for a while on one of my screens.
Yep.
I can tell you, I've been watching football for over 40 years. Yep. I can count on one hand and have digits left over the number of times I've seen a team take a 21-0 lead before they snap the ball.
Yep. 28-0, I think it was. 28-0 before the
It was
offense.
21. They scored 3 touchdowns before they ran a play on offense.
That's ridiculous.
They at one point had run 5 offensive plays and had 5 touchdowns. They were averaging a touchdown a play.
It's just ridiculous. It is just but I mean, well played to Notre Dame, definitely give them I know it is Syracuse, but it's going to give them a bit of that boost for the end of the season as well. It has to, to beat a team 70-7, surely.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not going to hurt Notre Dame's resume at all to have that kind of a blowout. I mean, I don't know how much of a help beating Syracuse, beating up on Syracuse like that is, but certainly doesn't hurt.
No.
So, I think I think with the coaching staff at Notre Dame, them giving up that late touchdown to make it 70-7, that might have been the best thing for them because it gives them something to be mad about this week in practice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You always got to have something. You can always be better, boys. You know, you let the team
Yeah,
get
you
7
cannot-
points.
We play 60-minute football games here. You cannot take the last 5 minutes off.
That's right. Exactly.
You can get away with it against Syracuse like you did because that touchdown meant nothing. But listen, we get into the playoff, we're going to be in the final 5 minutes. We're going to be in a dogfight.
Yes.
So they get to gripe and complain and moan about the lack of focus in the last 5 minutes all week and drill that into their heads.
Yep.
So, that though was a game where the coaching staff really has to look for stuff to nitpick, to be mad about him for practice the following week, because there wasn't a lot that went wrong in that game for Notre Dame. I'm still blown away by some of the stats in that game.
Yes.
Particularly the time of possession. Syracuse had possession for over 41 minutes and got beat by 63 points.
I mean, the thing is, if you don't do anything with the ball, it doesn't. You can have it for 60 minutes. If you don't score, you don't win. That's the point.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yep. What Notre Dame did when they had the ball, and quite honestly, even when they didn't have the ball, they just took it away from Syracuse. They had a couple of stupid scores. They had a blocked punt.
I know.
That's how the game started for Notre Dame, and they were off to the races after that.
I know. When your defense scores as many points as your offense, it's like, okay, something's going right here at the moment. So, that is for sure. So. I don't know if college fantasy football. I know it exists in some level. It's not nearly as big as NFL fantasy football is. Yeah.
But if anybody listening plays college fantasy football and you had the misfortune to go up against the Notre Dame defense and special teams in your game this week, I would like to extend my condolences on the utter ass kicking you suffered.
Yes.
Because that one would have gotten ugly fast for you.
Yeah, within the first half of the first quarter. It was
first 5 minutes.
Yep.
For first 5 minutes, you would have seen Notre Dame's defense score being like 30.
Yep.
And you'd have been like, what is going on? So, but fantasy football at the college level, I know it exists, but it's not anywhere near as big as the NFL is with fantasy football.
Yeah. And so the other team that had a fairly lucky escape was Utah as well against Kansas State. Ended up being 51-47. For a while there, Kansas State was actually in the lead for quite a while. So,
Utah made a hell of an escape there late in that game. They were actually, and the ending to this game was just crazy because Kansas State, they took it in to go up 47-35.
Yeah.
With the extra point pending. And they actually decided to go for 2, trying to make it a 14-point game.
Yeah.
Okay, trying to make it 49-35. Oh, well, what was it? It wound up being a pick 2.
Yeah, pick 2, that's right.
Throw the interception, and Utah takes it all the way back for 2 points of their own. So instead of a 14-point lead, it's now a 10-point lead for Kansas State. So the permutations there, and Utah was getting the ball back after they got that 2 points. So it winds up being a much more manageable lead. I mean, even though it was pretty late in the game.
Yeah.
A touchdown and a field goal, and you're in overtime. 2 touchdowns, you wind up winning the game, which is exactly what Utah did. They wind up scoring 2 late touchdowns. Touchdown to take to get it within 3, and then the touchdown ultimately in the final seconds to win it.
It is a very lucky escape.
That was another great escape.
Very, very lucky escape from Utah. So, because I think we were reading out the scores throughout the watch party. It's just like, what is going on in Utah? It's a very close game. Yeah.
I think I had flipped to that at some point.
Yes.
On one of my screens, or I think you actually flipped over to it late.
Yeah.
Once our game was done, but it would Saturday. We had to dig a little bit for some interesting games, but they were there to be found.
Yes. Yeah.
If you wanted to find them, I mean, I think I was watching at one point watching the end of an FCS game or a Division II game at some point on Saturday afternoon. But certainly the crazy games were out there.
Yeah,
even were. In spite of it being Cupcake Week, where 11 of the top 14 ranked teams in the college football playoff rankings, 11 of the 14 top 14 won. The other 3 were on a bye.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the highest ranked team that lost last week was number 15.
Yes. Yeah. The old Georgia Tech.
Yep. So, the drama was there. You just had to look for it. Not unlike what we've had a lot of this season, where the drama was hitting us in the face.
Yes.
Each and every week.
The
chaos was slapping us around.
Yeah.
Last week, I think, not so much.
Before we even went to air, you were saying that there was no kind of off-ball kind of drama throughout the week as well. We kind of had no coaches were getting fired. No kind of.
The Cal coach got fired.
Oh well. Yes. Okay. True.
After they lost to 3-win Stanford in their rivalry game. That which honestly, when losing to Stanford, that is a capital crime at the University of California.
Yeah. Well, that would be.
That is not acceptable.
Yeah.
That is a fireable offense in and of itself at the University of California, Berkeley. So lose to Stanford, clean out your office, sir. We're not even going to let you coach the final game. Get out.
That's it. See you later.
And how about some other coaching drama for rivalry week? Rivalry week. We started with a bang.
Okay.
On Friday.
Yes.
Right out of the gates, Friday noon Eastern. We've got the Egg Bowl, which traditionally was a Thursday night Thanksgiving night game.
Yeah, you said that they've now changed that, so which is interesting.
Yeah, and it's just been changed in the last few years. Apparently, college football is just ceding Thanksgiving to the NFL.
Yeah.
Not even going to try to compete against it. Because, like I said, traditionally, the Egg Bowl was a Thanksgiving night game. Now that the NFL is putting blockbusters on Thanksgiving night, and have been for the last many years, college football has finally said, you know what, we're just going to stop trying to compete.
Yeah,
we'll put some blockbusters on Friday. We'll put blockbusters on Friday and Saturday in rivalry week, and they're going to kick off rivalry week Friday afternoon with an absolute banger with the Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And the drama's not on the field; it's off the field.
Yeah,
particularly with the coaching situation at Ole Miss, because Ole Miss came out with a statement late last week that they will have a decision regarding Lane Kiffin and his coaching future on Saturday, the day after the Egg Bowl.
Yes. Because we weren't here.
We don't know what...
Last week, we never really got into that.
The plan is.
Yes. Yeah.
He's being courted by both Florida and LSU.
LSU, yeah. Apparently, his ex-wife and family have been at LSU as well, having a look around. So
also they went to Gainesville, I believe.
Yeah, so
to go look at Florida.
Yep.
So, and of course, Lane on his social media is putting out cryptic tweets, cryptic messages that everybody's trying to read inside the mind of Lane Kiffin, which I got to tell you, don't do it. It's a scary place.
Yep.
I mean, you might wind up getting sucked into a rabbit hole you can't get out of. Diving too deep into his mind. I think Lane is trolling somebody. I just don't know who yet.
Yeah.
And we're not going to know until we know what job he's going to be coaching
until
in
Ole
next
Miss
year.
make there. Is that meant to be this week, or is that going to be early next week, that announcement?
Decision's supposed to be on Saturday.
Oh,
We're
okay.
the expectation is we get a decision on Saturday, the day after the Egg Bowl.
Ooh.
And who knows what form that announcement's going to take? Is it going to be Lane Kiffin showing up in Ann Arbor for game day on Saturday with a Florida hat, an LSU hat, and an Ole Miss hat, and it's kind of like a high school senior pick,
put the hat on that
signing.
That's it. Dang.
Or are we going to get that on game day Saturday? I don't know what form this is going to take. We're going to find out where he's coaching at.
Yes.
Obviously LSU, the rumors are they're willing to spend whatever it takes to get him. Ole Miss has come out and said we'll match.
Ooh.
Now,
nothing like a bidding war, right?
Last couple of weeks that Ole Miss is willing to match whatever somebody offers him.
Yeah. Well, he's done so much there. Look at him now. 10-1 for the season, 6-1 for the conference.
Right.
They're having the best season. Why wouldn't you want to keep that going? Of course.
I mean, if they beat Mississippi State on Friday, they're going to be in a playoff.
Yep.
At 11-1, there's no way the committee leaves them out of the playoff at 11-1. At 10-2, they're probably in.
Yeah.
Unless Lane Kiffin leaves.
Yeah.
What does the committee do with that little nugget of information? If Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State and he bails for LSU the day after, what does the committee do with Mississippi State or with Ole Miss? Because they're going to fall into the pile of 10-2 teams.
Yes.
Of the 2-loss teams.
Yep. And there's some pretty strong.
How do they sort that out? And do they take into account that they would have an interim coach for any playoff game?
Yeah.
Does that affect Ole Miss like it affected Florida State in 2023? Don't know, because this would be kind of uncharted waters for us.
Yes.
Having a coach of a potential playoff team
failing
at the end of the regular season.
I know. That's. I guess it's all going to come down to, unfortunately, it's going to come down to money. How much are they going to offer? Is it going to be enough to drag him away from a program that he's kind of shaped into this, playoff potential, natty winner potential? I don't know. How much money do you put on that? I don't know. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll have to wait until Saturday.
And the rumor mill is absolutely running wild regarding Lane Kiffin. LSU is going to offer him $105 million, making the highest paid coach in college football. 7 years, $100 million is about $14 million a year. That would make him the highest paid coach in college football. I'm not sure about the rumor that the governor of Louisiana is going to call the legislature into a special session to amend the state budget to pay Lane Kiffin $250 million a year. I'm not sure about that rumor, but it wouldn't totally surprise me if that happened.
Oh, man.
Knowing how the Louisiana governor is.
Dang, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and where he's going to land. If he goes anywhere at all, he very well might stay there. So who knows?
Yeah, we've discussed it, off and on the last couple of weeks. I'm thinking, why? Why would you want to go to a place like Florida and LSU, which is, let's be honest, in rebuild mode?
Yeah, they're struggling for sure, in anybody's terms.
Yeah,
yeah.
And quite honestly, Florida's been in rebuild mode since Urban Meyer left.
I don't know who that is, but I'm assuming it's a long time.
Yeah, we're talking almost 20 years. They were. He was the coach that they won their national championships with Tim Tebow as their quarterback.
Oh, okay. So we are talking. Okay.
Yeah, Urban Meyer. He left. Had some health issues. Came back. Went to Ohio. Coached at Ohio State for several years.
Okay.
Had some more health issues. Also had his disaster of a half-year stint in Jacksonville with the Jaguars. And has had TV stints ever since.
Oh.
So, I mean, honestly, Florida's been in rebuild mode since Urban Meyer left. And that's 15 years.
That's a long time to rebuild. That's I think if you're a Florida fan, you'd be sick of rebuilding. Let's actually get into it. So. But
and they've had multiple head coaches, and they just can't seem to get out of the mud.
Yes,
down in Gainesville,
LSU,
they won the national championship back in 2019 with Joe Burrow at quarterback, but they've been a mess since then.
Yeah.
Why would Lane Kiffin want to leave something that he's already built to go build the same damn thing somewhere else? In a place with, let's be honest, is a dysfunctional fan base.
Yes.
That panics at the first sign of trouble. Okay? I mean, Oxford, Mississippi, Ole Miss, Lane's built it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
He has built something that is now a national contender.
Yeah.
They are one of the elite programs in college football right now with what Lane Kiffin has done there. Why not just stay there, sustain it, and try to win that national championship instead of going somewhere else and spending 5 years trying to build the same damn thing?
We spoke about this before. I think it was actually last week, where some coaches are built like that. Once they get a program up and running, they want to go to the next challenge. They want that challenge of taking somebody like Florida, who is rebuilding apparently, and then putting it onto the national stage as well. Some people some people are built like that. Some coaches like that continual challenge. So I don't know if I could deal with the stress, but some people do.
Yeah, maybe when you're younger that makes sense.
Yeah.
But listen, what he's done at Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Ole Miss has had some success before Lane Kiffin got there.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss is at heights they haven't seen since the early 60s. All right? I mean, they shared the national championship in 1960.
Okay.
And, that was the last time they were anywhere close to this position that they are today. That's 65 years. Okay? Ole Miss has been solid. They haven't been powers. They are now a power.
Yes.
In college football.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you there. We've got the playoffs ranking here just started. Let's jump into this. Let's have a look at what the committee is saying. Let me turn that up a little bit so we can actually hear it.
Numbers.
Yep. Let's see what the committee has to say now. We spent the better part of an hour thinking about what they're going to say. Now we're going to find out what they say.
Exactly.
They're symbols of success.
That's why we're taking over. What's my definition of success? We got something to prove.
So we've gone through what we think. It's going to be interesting to see what our committee thinks. Coming down to the last week, it all comes down to this.
Is where the line will
I want to see what they do with the bottom of the rankings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Obviously I'm thinking they're going to continue to have Miami in the 11, which again I don't know why, because right now they're not in a position to play for the ACC championship.
Yeah.
Okay. And I honestly think they're doing a disservice to themselves by having Miami there, because now when we get to championship week and after championship week, well, Miami's been there, been in the bracket the whole time. Why have you kicked them out?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Well, they didn't win the conference championship.
Yep, exactly the same as last year. Exactly.
Pretty much.
All right. Let's see.
Rivalry week is here. The stakes are high as the pressure mounts. We'll show you the rankings, and we'll see them when you do. College football playoff top 25.
So we've got a couple of minutes
Joey Galloway,
before we jump into that. But man,
what are you expecting?
It's yeah. By the way, I can't hear or see anything from
from the
feed.
Can they go? Do they jump Ole Miss? Let's see what they do with the Ducks.
More losses in.
Okay, there we go.
25. Tulane was the only group of 5 that was ranked last week, and once again,
there we go.
22-23 loss. Let's just see if there's more group of 5 teams that move into these rankings. Just let's make it interesting.
I'm curious about Utah and Miami. Can Miami jump Utah? 17-point win on the road in Blacksburg. You look at what Utah did. They had to survive.
They're talking about
12 against Kansas.
Talking about Miami and their win at Virginia Tech. By the way, Virginia Tech, congratulations, James Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin is, yep.
And if they do start looking at the head-to-head more closely, it's not as if they're ignoring it. Just if they're in that same group of 6 ranked, the top 3 out of them, then perhaps the head-to-head will carry some more weight. A quick reminder, 12 teams. You have the 5 highest-ranked conference champions, no matter which conferences they are from.
I like it.
This week, and when we get back into talking about the games, those the ACC games are going to be very interesting. If all those one-loss teams lose, and we wind up with that 6-way tie, and that is the scenario I'm seeing where we get the 2 group of 5s. I would love to see it.
Yes.
I would love to see James Madison and North Texas or Tulane make it in.
You feel really good. You got
so they got
you're in line to host the American Championship.
And in fact, they've got Tulane in at 24.
Yes.
I think if you're John Summerall on your team, you got to feel
so
good about
probably Tulane is going to be their group of 5 in the bracket this week again.
Yeah.
Same as they had last
Tulane,
week.
Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, and SMU.
Pittsburgh still alive. SMU, if they win,
that's the glorious masterpiece of the ACC.
Yeah.
Let's look at 23-15.
Right there, 21 through 23.
Yeah. Oh, Arizona State 20. Tennessee number 19. Virginia, USC, and Texas at 16.
Guys, interested to see what was happening. USC taking their 3rd loss of the season.
Virginia, they're at 18. They're in a position where they can get into the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
Miami's going to be ahead of them, so they'll again sit as the ACC representative in the bracket for now.
A win against Michigan. They got to win against Iowa. We just don't see any way for them to get higher than 17.
And I want you to keep an eye there on Virginia at 18, because Virginia can win its way into the ACC championship game. They've got Virginia Tech coming up. Let's continue on the rankings at number 15.
And now we're going to go one at a time. Michigan. We haven't talked about them yet.
No, they got a big game coming up for Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah, just a little bit of a big game. It's called the game up there against Ohio State in Ann Arbor. Here's a stat for you. It has been 2,187 days since Ohio State beat Michigan.
Ooh, they'll be looking to rectify that for sure. For sure.
It's been 6. Yeah, it's been 6 years. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan was 2019. They didn't play in 2020 because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then Michigan has now won the last 4.
Yeah. Vanderbilt
hanging around, they get
14.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, go on the road to
And
Tennessee.
Vandy's still right there in the
Kentucky.
Yeah.
in the pile of 2 lost teams. They've got a game they've got Tennessee coming up this weekend.
That's going to be a big
in
game for
the-
them, for sure.
The Tennessee State Championship game.
Against Kentucky, then go on the road and get a big win at Tennessee, they'll be in the conversation.
Sitting
Yeah.
right there on the edge, number 13.
Yeah, if they beat Tennessee on Saturday,
Ooh,
Tennessee,
Utah.
they'll be in conversation. Utah at 9-2.
Giving up
Okay.
all of those yards on the ground to K-State, they slip a spot at number 12.
They went down a spot this week.
They got
Miami.
punished.
So
12.
Miami's at 12. Now,
Okay.
They got punished.
Champions and where
Yeah.
Utah got punished for their escape
Yep.
against K-State.
Yep.
The cut line is probably
Miami jumps them.
All those
It's
rushing
gonna be like
yards.
this.
So-
If you're Miami, you have to do to Pitt what Notre Dame did to Pitt, which is beat them resoundingly. Let
Right now,
everyone
Miami
know
is,
because if we get to a point,
you know, the-
and I
you know,
hope we
they
do,
are-
if we get to a point where we're
they're
gonna-
in the
Notre Dame,
field
Miami
right
are
now.
just
They're
the two best
close.
teams.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at
but
their
they
opponents.
got to get to the top 10 somehow
Yes.
to
Yeah.
feel safe enough to get in. without winning the ACC title.
That's gonna be a big
season
ask.
is complete. So we'll see. So Miami is inching.
Yeah, they
its way
need some
back
teams
into
above them to
the
lose.
number
Yep.
11.
BYU number 11. Okay.
BYU is a potential
It's kind of been there the
major
whole time,
one that they
BYU,
should
for
get plenty of consideration as an at-large team.
Okay.
But also if they
Yeah,
win, they'll get to
and
the
they're a
championship
one-loss
game
team that is in
win their way
the mess
as one
of
the
two-loss teams
Yeah.
because of their overall
Yeah.
resume.
Texas
Yeah.
Tech, and Texas Tech is firmly
Yeah.
in. We start talking about bid stealers. All of a sudden,
And they
even
did get
10
smashed
maybe
up by,
not protected. Could be
A&M as well.
very, Very interesting.
Oh, Texas Tech.
Yeah,
a
and
big
if
part.
you
particularly down to 14
Yeah,
and
and BYU could still get in. I think they still have a shot at the. They can still get
Yeah.
into the Big 12 championship
Yeah.
These
game.
teams are on the
Yeah.
wrong side of the bubble at the moment. And then at number 10, be the last team in the field at the
Alabama?
moment
Alabama.
is Alabama. So
Yeah.
Alabama's
Alabama,
they
they got
Okay.
Alabama at
Okay.
10.
at Auburn
Wow.
primetime
Yeah, that's why I
Saturday
had them
night,
on
number
my list. 10. Notre
There is
Dame.
Notre
Okay.
Dame. So now
Yep.
Notre Dame
Okay, they-
passes eye test.
I've got those two
Notre Dame,
flip-flopped.
resume
Okay.
Alabama, right now, that's where they stand.
But I've got Notre Dame 10, Alabama 9,
This is an
because I like Alabama's resume better.
But they
Yeah.
have been consistent with that. And the performance they had against Syracuse, 35-0 in the first
All
quarter,
right.
left no doubt.
I'm assuming
21
Oklahoma's going to be
Uh,
number
offense
8.
Even touched the ball.
I've got to think they're 8, yeah.
171 yards on 8 carries. Notre Dame is playing as well as anybody in college football.
And
right
Syracuse
And
is
then we
number
start
12
sorting the
in
one-loss
Miami,
teams.
and
Yes.
I don't know that they didn't do the same thing. I think Miami beat Syracuse 38-10, something like that. Well, Notre Dame, if we're talking eye test,
Yeah.
nobody looked better than them last Saturday. They looked pretty
There's
darn
few
good.
teams that look better than them in the country.
They look,
Is Notre Dame
they
right
look
now.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, obviously Notre Dame got some credit for 21 points before snapping the ball
Quarterback right now, you know?
Yeah.
from the committee.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Now, Oklahoma
Expected
8.
that.
Yep.
Yep.
You have
makes
LSU
sense.
coming to your place in Norman with an opportunity.
Got to have them ahead of Alabama because
Yeah.
of the head-to-head.
Yeah.
If you beat LSU,
And
I think this
moderately similar resumes.
Playoff,
Yes.
I think Alabama's resume is better
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
but it's not as glaring as the Notre Dame-Miami discussion.
Yeah.
A home field playoff game, not just in the play.
Because they're playing an SEC schedule. They're both playing SEC schedules.
Yeah.
Auburn and get to the SEC championship game, where that would all stack up
Yeah.
at the end too, and how they would view that. Number 7.
Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss
Yep.
slips a spot after
Ole
Oregon's
Miss?
impressive
Yep.
win against USC.
Ole Miss
gonna call the
probably
exit.
getting
Rebels will finish up
dinged
there, and of course,
for their
Notre Dame
escapes.
taking
Yeah.
And they've had several
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Could be an issue too, depending on what the Rebels do in the last regular season.
So they've got a better resume than BYU. That's why they're not in the middle of
Hey.
the two-loss
You
teams.
know, might jump all the way up to 5, but they move up a spot.
Oregon.
after an impressive
Oregon at
Okay.
performance
6.
against USC.
Well, the committee's been waiting all year long. Where they
I
have
like.
one
I
last go.
think I had Oregon at
They've been waiting
6.
on them to
Yeah.
get a win of significance.
Yeah, I had them at
They
5, you
finally
had
did
them
it.
at 6,
They
yeah,
moved them up.
yeah.
They've been teasing us,
Yeah.
and now they finally did it.
It kind of helped us the last 2 games to rank when they weren't ranked before, so which is
Right.
goes to our strength of schedule, so which is fantastic.
Yeah. Beating, Iowa beating.
Iowa and USC.
Yeah,
so
the
that's
Iowa
good.
win helps. USC win helps.
Yep.
Texas Tech at number 5.
And
Okay.
one would think if they win that game, that they've solidified.
They're the top of the Big 12.
in the conference title game.
They play West Virginia Saturday, so they win. They're probably in the field.
Yeah.
Georgia at 4, no surprise.
Nope.
SEC schedule to get into the conference title game at number 3.
Texas A&M, yep.
Texas, if they win,
A&M 3, they'll
I'm
have
assuming they're
Indiana
gonna
at
keep-
2, Ohio State at 1, which is
Yeah.
what we've had for a while.
Yeah.
The other games,
No
Indiana
no
is 2,
surprises there
and
at
the
all.
Buckeyes
So
are number
Yep.
1.
Again, I've told you my reasons for having Indiana at 1 over Ohio State ever since I made the flip-flop.
ooh,
So-
current rankings would be playing Miami. And then ATM. Ooh, that's going to be interesting.
Miami's going to have to get an at-large bid.
Yeah.
you would think.
Damn, and then we might
Yeah,
have
Miami,
Or the 11 or 12 would
Match up
Miami
with
and
Indiana
Oregon
again.
in, in the bracket right now.
Yep.
But that's that's going to change.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Notre Dame, that
Yeah.
Because Miami's not going to be sitting in the ACC champion spot. They're either going to have their own at-large bid or they're going to be out.
So that is
Yeah.
that's how it looks. Not a lot of change at the top. So a couple of switch spots there
But
at Oregon.
regardless, right now, Oregon in a position where with a home playoff game
Yeah.
in the first round.
Got to
Yep.
expand this. I think
As the
to me,
sixth
it's
seed.
fascinating when you get to the
Yes.
two-loss team. Let's look at 8, 9, 10. You look
I'm
at
hoping
Oklahoma,
that's
Notre
gonna
Dame, and
work out
Alabama.
better
I
for us
realize
than,
Alabama has an opportunity to
last
get to the
year,
SEC
which
championship
was
game. But how
horrific
do you
for
break
us.
those teams down? Like
So-
when you look at 8, 9, and 10. Those two lost
But,
teams.
And you know, and that quarterfinal game right now with
how do you differentiate between those teams?
Oregon being 6, A&M being 3.
Yeah.
You know, that quarterfinal game is going to be against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Wonder which.
They were to beat Ohio State.
Look at, if you can look this up. What bowls are the quarterfinals this
If you're
year?
Vanderbilt, if you're Utah, you really
okay.
need help in front of you, right? I mean,
Just
that's
give me
just kind
one
of the
second.
reality of it. And as does Miami. But
You don't
to
mind?
answer your question, I don't
Don't
know.
mind looking that up.
We are heading to a scenario that is next to impossible for this committee to differentiate some of these two
Because
teams,
they're,
and
you know, they
not gonna
will.
be able to make everybody happy. And
What
teams
the
that have
committee will
legitimate
do
reason to be in this
is
playoff are going to be left at home.
That's what I'm
Put
really concerned
teams
about, Mr.
into
Big
bowl
Ohio State.
games that there's a traditional tie-in, or
Okay.
that are within the region.
To see Miami move up a spot, they played Virginia Tech.
Okay, let's
now,
have a look
they
at-
won the game. They added a touchdown to the end.
Like for example, with Ohio State being number 1, and it's the same. And
This is
the interesting
setting up
thing
the
is Indiana
conversation
being the
about
same
number
boat,
one.
but Ohio State would get preference because they're the 1 right now.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You know, Ohio State's quarterfinal would be the Rose Bowl because of the traditional Big Ten tie-in with the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
This evaluation is Miami
Okay.
closer and closer to Notre Dame
Yeah.
in the rankings.
Well, they are
So-
in the same conversation now when you look
Um,
at the ranking as BYU, Alabama, Miami, and Notre Dame. They're all together there. But I want to caution everybody that there's not a particular spot in the ranking that Miami needs to get to all of a sudden have this head-to-head magically change the opinion.
Yeah, I can't remember what our bowl games are. What bowls have the quarterfinals this year because they're going to rotate them every year.
Okay, so the first one here says the Cotton Bowl.
Okay, Cotton Bowl's the quarterfinal.
Yeah. The Orange Bowl.
Okay, Orange Bowl.
The Rose Bowl, obviously. And the last one here is the Sugar Bowl.
Miami right here.
Okay, okay, so cotton, orange, sugar, and what's the fourth one?
It's cotton, orange, rose, and sugar.
Head-to-head might not.
Okay, so what they would probably do is
it's really a fascinating
the one seed Ohio State would get tied into the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Indiana.
What Heather said.
Oh boy, that's going to be a mess because they're a Big Ten team.
Gotta look at that.
Should be tied into the Rose Bowl, but we can't send them to the Rose Bowl because Ohio State's already there.
So they're saying
These
maybe
two teams
Cotton Bowl.
finished 10-2.
Yeah, let's get
And
rid of
we're
this. I
sitting
don't think we
comparing
need that
what's
anymore.
Yeah,
Let's get rid of that.
or the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Just as a default, just because it's the other one left.
Yeah.
I would say Texas A&M would get tied into the Cotton Bowl because while they're an SEC team and there's a traditional tie-in with the SEC champion going to the Sugar Bowl,
Okay.
There's an older tie-in for Texas A&M with the Cotton Bowl from their Southwest Conference days. That used to be the bowl game the Southwest Conference champion would go to back when when the Southwest Conference existed.
Okay.
Plus, the Cotton Bowl, it's a couple hours up the road in Dallas. You know, they've been playing at Jerry World in Arlington.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be a logical place to send Texas A&M. And then Georgia as the 4 seed SEC team, naturally you'd probably send them to the Sugar Bowl. Now, you might send Indiana to the Sugar and Georgia to the Orange. I don't know.
So what they've got here is they've got...
I get a feeling Indiana would get slapped with the Orange Bowl.
So they've got projection number 7 versus number 2 at the Cotton Bowl. So it's Oregon or Ole Miss versus Indiana. Both of the projections are Indiana for the Cotton Bowl. For the Orange Bowl, it's 5 versus 4. So it's going to be Texas Tech versus Georgia at this stage. The Rose Bowl, it's going to be number 8 versus number 1 or number 9 versus number 1. So it's going to be Oklahoma and Ohio or Notre Dame and Ohio for that one. So the Sugar Bowl is going to be number 6 versus number 3. So it's going to be Ole Miss versus Texas A&M. Or it could be Oregon versus Texas A&M. So at this stage.
And like I said, I would not be surprised to see the committee give A&M the Cotton Bowl. Just because that's an in-state game. Because they're not doing home games, on-campus home games.
Yeah.
But the higher seed deserves some sort of an advantage.
Yeah.
And having the game a couple hours up the road, that's a nice little home field advantage, especially if you're dragging a team, if you're dragging Oregon or Miami in.
Yeah.
That's some hefty travel, especially for Oregon coming from Eugene.
Yes.
That would be a stadium that has a whole lot of red, a whole lot of burgundy in it.
Yes.
Or maroon, excuse me, maroon.
As long as the thing is, as long as we're not at the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, I don't really care. As long as
well, listen, this year it would be Ohio State coming off the bye in the long wait.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right. So,
having to wait the better part of a month between games, unlike last year. So, but that's probably not a concern because of the
we won't
seating
get
right now. Now your Ducks got a bit of a tricky game this week. Got a nice border war game up in Seattle against Washington.
Against Washington. Yep. We certainly do.
And let's be honest, your margin for error is very thin.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I'm not saying if you lose a second game, you're going to be out of the playoff, but you are skating on some very thin ice, my friend, if you do.
The thing that scares me is we're actually letting a lot of teams back into the game. When we got control and we're surging ahead, we let them back in. I've said it a couple of times now in watching the games, we gotta start putting people down when we get tackles. They keep getting yards on us. And they keep getting first downs. And it's just like, no, we can't do this at this end of the season. We need to tighten up our defense quite a lot. So that's a big worry.
You guys had a really good game against USC.
Yes.
I did a real good job keeping control of that game against USC. I would expect similar against Washington, but. This is a traditional rivalry game, and a lot of years in the Pac-12, this was the Pac-12 North decider. Okay? This would determine who gets into the Pac-12 championship game from the North. Between Oregon and Washington. So it's a big game, and rivalry games are very unpredictable. So I could see Washington coming in, raising their game up, and at least making this thing interesting for a while. Now, Oregon's still got a lot to play for because, in addition to locking down your playoff spot, you still got an outside chance at getting into the Big Ten championship game
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, right now it's been all season Ohio State and Indiana on a collision course in Indianapolis for the Big Ten title.
Yeah.
But if Indiana wins, they're in, obviously.
Yes.
Ohio State wins, they're in. But if Ohio State loses to Michigan, which is not outside the realm of possibility based on recent years happenings.
Rival games are completely different. That's right.
Oregon can slide. Oregon can slide into the Big Ten title game.
Yes. So that's the thing. Then that changes our whole approach to what's going to happen. So it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about getting into the championship game. Obviously, it'd be great to go back and back Big Ten champs. That would be amazing. But I don't know. I don't know how that will turn out for us. So
yeah, that'd be crazy. First 2 years in the Big Ten, 2 Big Ten championships. Not bad. That's a pretty healthy strike rate right there.
That's right. If we could just translate that into a natty, that would be fantastic. So, but you got to start. You got to start somewhere. That's it. So
yeah. Translate that into 3 or 4 more wins, and turn that into a national championship.
Yep. That's hopefully the plan. So
certainly for Oregon, definitely hope that's the plan. But
yes.
They've got the conference championship thing mastered pretty well.
Yep.
It's when they get into that national title thing that they slip up. They've got a history of slipping up.
I know.
But let's see if it changes this year.
Yeah, no, that's right. So we've got a big week coming up. Obviously, it's going to be rivalry week. We got a few games on the card for our YouTube watch parties. We'll go through them.
Just a few.
So we're going to do Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Obviously, the Egg Bowl. We're going to jump into that one. This is all on the Friday for you guys in America. It will be a Saturday for me. So we're going to start that. What are you going to say?
So we're doing back-to-back triple headers this weekend.
We are going to do a lot of footy. I tell you what, a lot of footy. So make sure you come prepared. We're going to do Ole Miss and Mississippi State, Georgia and Georgia Tech, and then Texas A&M and Texas on the Friday to wrap up those triple header there that we've got on the Saturday.
Great in-state rivalry games.
Yes.
3 fantastic ones. Egg Bowl, clean old-fashioned hate.
Yeah.
And the Lone Star Showdown, which, up until last year, we had missed that game for a decade and a half almost.
Yes. That's going to be...
getting it in Austin, which, by the way, I just drove past DKR here in Austin as we were talking. It is lit up very nicely inside. I don't know what they're doing inside the stadium tonight, but
they're obviously
OK Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, it is lit up.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming through Austin.
It's going to be. I'm interested to see how Manning's going to deal with this this rivalry. Texas A&M coming into your own house. And, oh
my goodness!
And
A&M coming into Austin for the first time in like 15 years.
Yes. So this will be a real test. This is going to
be special.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test of his medal for sure. How he's going to handle that real pressure. So so that's the Friday
for A&M. A&M, the game isn't nearly that big of a deal because they've got their playoff spot locked up. Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing for a spot in the SEC championship game and seeding.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But regardless, for Texas, it's a massive game because they're not out of the playoff conversation. They're sitting at 15 in the rankings now.
But this one will definitely
they're 16 in the rankings.
Yes.
They're probably out. But if they beat Texas A&M, you want to talk about a resume builder. Could that be enough to sneak Texas into an at-large berth?
You
Probably
would
not,
have
but
to
it's
say.
not a definite no.
No. To be the number 3 in the nation, but a number 3 that hasn't lost a game, and then you beat them,
Right.
that would be pretty. That's pretty strong. So that would be a good
Yeah,
one.
and the fact that it's your most hated rival, it is the team that okay, Texas fans, their hatred's probably split. I don't know who would be considered the biggest rival. Would it be Oklahoma or would it be A&M? I would think just by a nose A&M.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
Because
Oklahoma.
because they share the state. All right.
Well, yes.
They fight over the state of Texas every year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And when the two teams did not play each other every year, for the last 15 years, there was a whole lot of jawing back and forth between Austin and College Station. About who's better, who sucks, who's better, blah blah blah. Plenty of discussion back and forth.
Yes.
Texas and their fans, they will be up for this game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The burnt orange will be in the building Friday night.
Yes.
A whole lot of it, and they will be loud.
Yeah.
And for a chance to hang the first blemish on your hated rival this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's worth 3 games in hand, sure.
Yeah. Texas fans will be living for that moment to be able to hang a loss on Texas A&M
They certainly will be.
impact at least their seeding in the playoff, and also enhance their own resume to maybe, with a little bit more chaos happening, sneak the Longhorns into the playoff.
Yes. So that's going to be Friday, which is going to be a full day of footy, which is going to be fantastic. Coming up to Saturday, we're going to start off with Ohio versus Michigan. Obviously, we're going to do that game up there in Michigan. It's meant to be -2 for the game, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to hit the mid-afternoon with Vanderbilt versus Tennessee. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. And then we're going to finish off with the Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn. So 2 full games, 2 full days of football. So it's going to be amazing.
And the Iron Bowl, on paper, Alabama should crush.
Oh yeah,
Auburn.
should crush it. Yeah, for sure. But again,
should absolutely.
Yep.
The game is in Auburn. And, we've said many times, weird things happen on the plains in the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was it, a couple of years ago that Alabama converted a 4th and goal from the 30 for a game-winning touchdown?
Yeah.
I think we've had Bama winning on a 90-plus yard drive in the final minute of a game on the plains, of an Iron Bowl on the plains. Yeah. And, of course, the OG of weirdness, Kick 6.
Yeah. Davis.
That's happened on the plains.
Good times.
That has happened on the plains in the last 12 years.
Yes.
Okay?
So you never know what's going to happen.
On paper, Bama should destroy Auburn.
Yep. Yeah.
Bama needs to destroy Auburn because they're sitting in the last at-large spot in the bracket right now at number 10. Because if they fall below 10, they are in danger of getting X'd out by a conference champion.
Yeah.
Okay? Alabama's got to win, and they got to win with some style points against Auburn on Saturday night.
Yep.
If they don't, they are putting themselves in danger of falling below 10.
Yes. And being kicked out completely. So it's there's a couple of teams that must win. A couple of teams it's like, okay, it doesn't really matter. But there's a couple of must-win games for some teams. So we're going to do 24 hours of footy in 2 days. So it's going to be a long weekend. It's going to be a long weekend.
Yep.
Come and join us for a couple of games here and there, wherever. Drop in, drop out, whatever you want to do. We'll be here watching it. It is going to be some interesting footy for sure. So, and like
the
anything,
front
you know,
bar, the front bar will have expanded hours this weekend.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
So-
We're having a bit of a lock-in.
So
As they
Yeah.
say.
come in, bring the beverage of your choice.
Yep. Yep.
And join us because it's going to be a fun weekend of football. And
Yep.
you know those 6 games that you mentioned, yeah, we're going to have most of our focus on those games in each
Yep.
window.
Yep.
But I've got multiple screens. Josh has multiple screens. Derek has multiple
Yep.
screens. Blair has multiple screens. We're going to be watching a lot of footy.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have
This weekend,
regular
and,
score updates.
you
And,
know-
as always, if a game becomes blowout, we can always swap around, see what's going on around the nation anyway. So, but whatever way it looks, it's going to be 2 full days of footy. We are on the last regular weekend of college football. I cannot believe it's already been the season already, which is crazy. So next week, obviously, we've got championship games, and after that, we've got Army versus Navy, which of course we'll be watching as well. And then we'll got the Heisman Trophy coming up as well in December, and then obviously we'll have our Natty broadcast as well. So we still got a few weeks of football coming up. We've still got some very important games coming up. Some great football here on the channel. So I think that's pretty much everything for update for this week. A lot going on the field, a few changes off the field, so it's going to be interesting to see how this week goes. As I said, there's a few must-win games for some teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how. I'm especially looking forward to see how Manning goes with the pressure. He's had a few good games. Let's see how he continues, and let's see how he's going to handle this. So, that's a lot of football to talk about today. We've done a lot of talking. We've done a lot of covering what's going on. I don't think you got anything else to cover there, Chris, do you? I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much hit everything, and we've
Yep.
kind of previewed the games we're going to be watching on Friday and Saturday. Got the rankings out there.
Yeah.
Let's just get into rivalry week. I mean, the Ohio State Michigan game. My goodness.
Yeah.
We haven't talked much about that. I talked a little bit about it. Like I said during the reveal, 2,100 by Saturday. It'll be 2,191 days.
Yeah.
Will that number increase by 364? Come about 3:15 Eastern time on Saturday,
Yes.
or will Ohio State be planting the flag at Michigan Stadium?
It's gonna
Whatever
be
happens,
Yes.
whatever happens, I am totally here for it. Because the crowd's going to be incredible. Both of the pregame shows are going to be in Ann Arbor on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I would not
Okay?
expect anything less. So
Yeah, Fox's pregame, of course, since Fox is carrying the game, Big Noon, Big Noon Saturday on Fox. Of course, their pregame is going to be in Ann Arbor, and game day is going to be in Ann Arbor, despite the fact ESPN's not carrying the game
yes,
on Saturday. They just go to the biggest game, doesn't matter what network it's on.
yeah,
The crowd's going to be jacked. Michigan Stadium holds officially 107,000.
107,000.
I'm telling you,
It's going to be 120.
There's going to be 114,000 there.
Easy. Probably even more than that. I would assume it's going to be massive. It's funny because Ohio and Michigan we haven't really touched on at all this year. Both of them have just kind of been going about their business, doing what they do. Especially Ohio. There's been no kind of close calls, no, close matches. It's going to be interesting. The spotlight's going to be on both of these teams on Saturday. It's going to be interesting who comes out on top as well, too. So,
we only watched Michigan once this year. We watched them play Oklahoma.
Yes. So
Ohio State. I think we've watched one of their games this year.
We watched Texas.
We've watched a little bit of them.
Yeah, so.
But, I've said, Ohio State's been ruthlessly efficient this year. Their defense is incredibly nasty.
Yep.
And honestly, I expect Ohio State to go up to Ann Arbor and exercise some demons.
Yep.
They've got more talent. They've got Julian Sayin at quarterback. They've got their wide receiver factory.
Yeah, amazing stats up there for Sayin at the moment. So, and rightly so, he's in the Heisman conversation as well.
Absolutely.
Too, so, it's going to be interesting. I think Ohio will come away with the win. But I'm just hoping for a great game. I'm hoping for some snow. Let's get touch that wood. Let's get some snow in the game.
I am totally down for it. Give me some snowing. They're talking about it being -2 Celsius at kickoff.
Yeah.
I think there's snow in the forecast for Saturday.
Fantastic.
Up there. So let's get it. Let's get some snow.
Yes.
Let's see some proper upper Midwest late fall, early winter football.
Oof. Too bloody cold to be playing footy.
No. When I was a kid, we had a snow day. Oh, yeah, I'm outside with my friends in the backyard. We're playing football all day in the snow.
Yeah, no.
On snow days where we're off school. That's bringing back some memories for me.
Yeah. Well, that is going to be it for today. I think we've covered everything. We've got a great weekend of football coming up. Make sure you come. Drop in, as I said. We'll be on live for about... We'll probably stop after every game. We'll start a new stream just to kind of... because you can't stream that long on YouTube anyway. So, but we'll have 3 streams on the Friday. We'll have 3 streams on the Saturday. We're going to have plenty of football. Make sure you come along and sit with us for a while. Drop in and drop out. I got to go and buy some snacks. I'm not sitting here for 24 hours with no snacks on the weekend. That is going to be crazy. But I cannot wait for it. So, Chris, thank you again, roving reporter for our channel here. Thank you very much for joining us for our podcast, everybody in the chat. I'm looking forward to some great banter on the weekend, some great games, and definitely some great footy. So, guys, thank you again for joining us. Make sure you come back next time. Remember to check out the channel. There is plenty of reactions on there, and we'll definitely see you back here for some more footy on the weekend. We'll see you then.
See ya.